cost of Hajj has gone through the roof. It used to be around 4,000 for Muslims in the West, and now we're looking at around 10,000, so it's more than doubled. And the thing is though, Hajj is worth it, especially for those of us that have the means to, save money. We should really be taking it seriously. This video will cover number 1, why Hajj is worth it, 2, how to save, and 3, how investing can help. Let's get straight into it. So part 1, why Hajj is worth it. Number 1, for Jannah. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that an accepted Hajj, the reward for that is Jannah. 2, to be free from sins. The one that performs Hajj without committing any obscenity and immorality comes out of his sins like the day his mother gave birth to him. And lastly, it's a sacred duty that we owe to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's mentioned in the Quran that this is a obligation by Allah upon those that are able. With that being said, so now that we know that Hajj is worth it, part number 2 goes into how to save. And there's 2 methods. The first method is to work backwards, right? So we want to set a target. Say for example, I want to save 10,000 within 5 years. Now, in order to work out how much I need to be saving each month, I would take the 10,000, I would divide it by 5 years. In this case, I would divide it by 60 months, which is the number of months that are in 5 years. That gives me a savings target of 167 per month. So now I know if I want to have 10,000 saved for Hajj specifically within 5 years, I need to be saving 167 pounds, dollars, whatever your currency is, each month. That's my target. The other method is to work forwards. Now this is where you commit to a savings amount that you can do. So maybe you tried working backwards and you realize you couldn't do that. So let's just say you commit to every single month I will put 100 aside into my Hajj fund, and that will be solely for Hajj. And then now you have your 100. Now you've got to work out, okay, how long will that take me to reach my target? Now if you're trying to save 10,000, then you would take the 10,000 divided by 100, and that gives you 100 months. If you convert that into years, then that's 8 years 4 months to save your target. So there's 2 methods there. Just pick whichever one that suits you. And this might seem obvious, but the more you save, the quicker you reach your goal. So here there is a chart that shows for the amount of monthly savings and how long it takes. As you can see, the more you save, the less time it takes to reach your goal, which is quite obvious. But it's good to think about, because then this makes us, just bring us to the next step, which is start thinking about, okay, how can we save more? Maybe you start with 100 and you want to think about, okay, cool, let me build this up. Now, to increase your savings, there are 3 main ways. Number 1 is to cut your expenses. Now I did a full video on this, which you can watch down below. But in a nutshell, you want to be first tracking your expenses, figuring out where your money is going, and then identifying what you can sustainably cut. Don't overdo it. Don't go too crazy, because then you won't stick to your budget. You lose track. What you want to do is to sustainably cut what you actually can live without. Number 2 is to earn more money. Now I'm going to be talking about this in future videos inshallah, because this is a very big topic and it's a very important topic. But the best way to increase your savings is to earn money. When you're cutting your expenses, there's a limit to how much expenses you can cut, but there's less of a limit when you're trying to increase your money. It's effectively, you could argue, unlimited. You could theoretically earn 1 billion, right? So you can earn a lot more. This is a very strong way to do it. And the last way, which is what I'm going to be talking about in this video, is investing your savings. Let's go straight into that, which is the next part. How investing can help. So first, what is investing? Investing is putting money into assets which appreciate and pay dividends. Now by appreciate, I mean it goes up in value, right? So say for example, you buy a house for 100,000, 10 years later it's worth 200,000. It's gone up in value, right? And if you sell it, you can you benefit from that increase. Or it pays dividends, which is income. So for example, you buy a house and you rent it out. Every month you get rental income, and that's dividends. So those are 2 ways in which investing can increase your money. And what can you invest in? You can invest in commodities like gold. You can invest in stocks and shares. This is where you buy a portion of businesses that are publicly available. For example, Tesla, Amazon, Apple, so many companies that you can buy a small part of. Or lastly, which is one of the most famous investing asset classes, is property. You can buy a house and etc. But a word of caution before I continue: investing is risky. You can lose your money. So with savings, at least it's sat there. It's nothing's going to happen. With investing, there's a chance that it can go down or it can go up. So you need to bear that in mind. And also, in this video, I'm only sharing information for educational purposes, and it's not financial advice, because I don't know your personal circumstances. So I can't give you personal tailored financial advice. So make sure to do your own due diligence, and if you need help, consult a finance professional. Right, back to it. Investing can help your money grow quicker, and this is important, right, when you're trying to save for Hajj. Ideally, you want to speed up the process, and this is what investing can do for you. Now, say for example you saved 100 each month for 5 years, right? In the first scenario, let's say you didn't invest the money and you just saved 100. At the end of 5 years, you'd have 6,000. This isn't accounting for inflation or zakat or anything like that, and that's a bit more advanced. We're keeping things simple for this video. Now, let's say you did invest, and let's say you invested and you earned on average 5% each year. After 5 years of saving 100, your money would now be worth 6,809. That's 809 extra from what you would have had if you had invested. Now, what if you made 8%? Then it would be 7,341. That's more money in your pocket. That's more money towards your hedge fund. And inshallah, what that means is you can reach your goal quicker and you can save more. But should you invest? There's a few things that you should consider, right? And I'm not going to give financial advice here, but I'm just going to tell you what to consider. And I'll talk about this more in the future, inshallah, but just for this video. Number one, as Muslims, you want to make sure your investments are halal. You want to make sure when you're going to Hajj that you're paying for it with halal, pure income. So it's very important. Number two, you want to think about, do you have enough time to invest? Say you've almost reached your Hajj saving goal, have a year left, so you only need 500, 1,000 more. You don't really want to be investing for short time scales. You want to be investing when you have at least 3-5 years, maybe more. So you have enough time for your investments to grow, and you're not leaving yourself vulnerable and exposed to any short-term market movements. So consider that. Number three, you want to think about what level of risk you can tolerate, right? Not everyone's suited for high risk investments. If you see your investments going down, you may panic and you may sell, which may not be the best thing to do. So what you want is a level of risk that you can tolerate, that you can sleep comfortably at night, understanding that the level of risk that you've chosen is fine for your inner psychology. So that's one thing to consider. And lastly, do you have an emergency fund? So before you invest, you need to have a pot of money set aside for any emergencies. This will help you to avoid, inshallah, going into debt. It will help you respond to situations, and it will help your investments, because you might have an emergency where you need to take money from your investments and it's probably not the right time, so you might have to sell at a loss. So you always want a buffer, an emergency fund. I made a full video about this, which you can watch. Inshallah, the links will be available either on the screen or down below. Obviously, your hedge fund is going to be solely for Hajj, but you never know, so it's best to be prepared. So keep these in mind when thinking about how to invest. Inshallah, I'll talk about this more in detail, but just for the sake of the video, what we've been talking about is how savings can help you reach your goal, how investing can help you reach your goal quicker. That's it in a nutshell. I hope that was beneficial. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If there's anything else you'd like to see, let me know, and subscribe for more, and inshallah I will see you next time.